I will begin by giving a short introduction to use of solar for water supply in humanitarian settings. Traditionally, humanitarian operations have been reliant on diesel for fuel for water supply. And some years back, there was a realization that there was a need to adopt a different way of supplying water in humanitarian settings. Generators were expensive to run and were coupled with other challenges of fuel theft and fuel mismanagement. The wave of using solar power for water supply started in Dadaab, where humanitarian donors such as ECHO give funds towards the solarization of water systems. And Dadaab eventually became the first refugee camp to be supplying water using 100% either solar or hybrid system. But there were factors that were hampering wider scale up across different regions in the world. And so the Global Solar and Water Initiative was formed to address these gaps. And we were funded by ECHO for the first 2 years. And then OFDA/USAID then funded us for another 2 years. And we are in that current phase that is funded by OFDA. What were the gaps that were recognized at that time? And I'll just highlight some of the key ones. There was severe shortage of energy expertise in the humanitarian sector. There was lack of guidance and policy detailing the circumstances that are favorable for solar pumping. There was also a lack of tools and standards that humanitarian actors could be able to use to gauge solar options. And there were a lot of misconceptions around solar, such as solar is expensive and solar is limited in capacity. So what is our role? The Global Solar and Water Initiative is co-managed by IOM and OXFAM. And our overarching aim is to mainstream the use of solar for water supply by promoting solar water pumping and supporting its quality implementation. And we do this through a number of activities. And in brief, we operate a technical helpline through which we address technical queries from humanitarian and development WASH actors. We also share knowledge through various coordination groups and WASH clusters at global, regional, and country levels. We build evidence and develop knowledge material, which we avail to the sector for using to design and implement solar pumping solutions. And we also provide field support through country visits. And lastly, we do capacity building to WASH agencies. What is the current situation right now with regard to solar water pumping? Since those early days of the Dadaab, there has been a general move of WASH implementers in humanitarian settings to adopt solar for water supply with support from coordinating agencies and donors. If I may use Uganda as an example, in the middle of a humanitarian situation in 2017, with a new influx of refugees from South Sudan to the West Nile, organizations were adopting solar for water use as a solution for water supply, even in the first phase of an emergency. This continued with hundreds of solar pumping systems being installed across refugee camps in Uganda. The Rohingya refugee camp in Bangladesh is another good example of solar water pumping use in an ongoing humanitarian crisis, where, if I may just use one example, a solar water pumping system that is supplying water to 50,000 people using solar alone was installed in 2019. And the solar team provided support in these cases. And there are many other good examples across refugee and ATP settings in the world. Next slide, please. Why solar? What are the benefits of solar and why is it relevant for using water supply? Solar is cost effective, it's durable, it's sustainable. As many of us know, humanitarian funding is front loaded. And so we have to try as much as possible to put measures in place to reduce recurrent costs. And solar provides such a solution. Solar also improves water service levels. When a solar water pumping system is well planned and implemented, it provides reliable water. As long as the sun is shining, then water can be pumped. Unlike diesel solutions or grid power, which, like for example, diesel solutions are expensive and there is erratic fuel supply in some cases, and in other cases, it's difficult to deliver the fuel to sites. And then it also increases affordability of water at rural community level. Since solar is free, has zero operating cost and very minimal maintenance cost, it contributes towards cheaper water. And we have seen rural communities that have halved the price of water upon installation of a solar water pumping system. Solar is also environmentally friendly, does not emit any pollutants, and so it can be used for combating climate change. And it also runs quietly, and so it's not a noise nuisance to the users. And then finally, organizations can also capitalize on solar to set targets for achievement of a greener agenda and contribute towards a greener planet. Next. What are the enabling factors for solar-powered water supply? Reduction in solar PV prices has been the greatest enabler, as it has made solar affordable. And we say the solar prices have actually reduced by tenfold since about a decade ago. Then many countries also have a renewable energy policy that supports and encourages solar use for water supply. There is also high constant solar irradiation in most humanitarian settings, and this also supports application of solar for water supply. Then world over, the technology has evolved and is now a robust and reliable technology. And we also have a private sector that is booming, even in developing countries. And this private sector has quality products and is able to support implementation of even large projects. Next. Other factors that support use of solar-powered water supply. Sometimes delivery of fuel is difficult in some locations. For example, South Sudan, where fuel is airlifted even to the camps there. Some locations are inaccessible due to insecurity. Other locations are cut off when it rains or it snows in the winter. Some countries experience fuel shortages. And other countries have a grid, but the grid is unreliable, such as Lebanon and Iraq. Next. Some of the lessons some of our findings and lessons as we have done, and we have managed the Global Solar and Water Initiative for the last, say, 4 years. Solar is suitable in long-term displacement settings, such as refugee camps, IDP camps. Refugee camps on record has an average life of 18 years. And so solar-powered water supply is suitable because you have a lot of cost saving by adopting solar-powered water supply. Solar-powered water pumping can also be applied during camp setup or even the first phase of an emergency. And you don't need to wait many years to start thinking about using solar. At host community level or at rural community level, a cost recovery plan should be put in place to support potential costs in case the system requires repair. Solar is reliable and it's robust, and where failure has been experienced, the failure was not related to the technology, but it was due to issues that are common with other pumping schemes, issues such as incorrect sizing. And then we have also found that a knowledgeable private sector is present in most countries, and so large projects can be implemented. Next, please. Also, when it comes to implementation, implementers should pay attention to after-sales support and ensure success in the critical first 18 to 24 months of the system by ensuring there's an after-sales support plan to support the system. And then they should also opt to use quality and known products so that there is ease of service. Next. We have also developed technical resources to support implementers in implementing quality solar pumping systems. One of them is a solar pumping toolkit that is available to all WASH actors, and it is accessible on energypedia.info. You just search solar pumping, and then it's also available on oxfamwash.org. Next. We have recently written a book on solar water pumping that will be published in a month or so, and this will also be available for free to all humanitarian and development WASH actors. Next. We have also developed an online course on solar water pumping, and this course is currently available for access. We are also developing a website that will collate knowledge, material, documents, evaluations on solar water pumping. And we also expect to go into a third phase of the project, and we will continue, of course, to operate the technical helpline that is open to all humanitarian and development organizations. And our contacts are on the next slide. And that's all. Thank you for listening.